for the...
What are you doing?
Adjusting your breasts. You fainted and they shifted all out of whack. There.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Hot Toys. I am one of your hosts, as from Heel versus Babyface. George is Georging, I guess. That's why I've got coffee. Coffee solves everything. All you need to do, just make sure that there's an area where the coffee can pour out of. Open your mouth. Tilt the cup. Take down that goodness. Hello, everyone. How have you been? It has been an interesting week in the world of toys. Yesterday, I went to the cinema, to the theater, and I saw a little film called John Wick 4. Enjoyed it. Enjoyed it quite a lot. For a near 3-hour movie, it flew by. Then afterwards, got something to eat. Got some chicken, got some broccoli, got some minted peas. And then I went to a toy store. Had a little walk around the toy store, looked at the Lego, nearly made a purchase, didn't make a purchase, and then came home. And in that time, George was still late. Hello, George. How you doing?
How you doing? Great to see you guys. Just dropped off the family at the airport. Crazy. But it's good to be
Wait,
here.
is that a euphemism for having a poo?
No. I had to
okay.
drop the family off that went out of town.
Oh, okay.
But you did a lot of stuff.
Hmm?
You did a lot of stuff right before you came.
Well, that was yesterday.
Oh. I was watching.
Today, did some streaming.
Yeah.
Then I went downstairs and cooked myself
What'd you
food.
cook? What'd you cook?
I did some mince with some onion, some tomato, and then just grated some cheese on top.
Oh, that's nice. That's
Quite nice. Yeah,
That's
it's sort of like a fake bolognese.
Oh.
Well, not a fake bolognese.
Pie.
A fake cottage pie.
Oh, you know what? I love shepherd's pie.
Fake shepherd's pie. Well, cottage pie, shepherd's pie, two different things.
No, I know, but it reminded me. I love shepherd's pie.
Yeah, but I can't have the potatoes because.
Oh. What's cottage pie? I don't recall having that.
Cottage pie is basically shepherd's pie, but I think it's made by cottaging.
What?
So to do with the
cottaging.
Cottaging.
What the hell is cottaging?
Oh, you don't know what? You don't know what cottaging? Why don't you just Google cottaging?
Okay. Google cottaging. Never heard of cottaging.
Shepherd's pie is lamb, and cottage pie is beef.
What? Yeah, I don't think.
That's on your computer now, George. That's in your search history from Google. Today, March 30th, the year 2023, George Google cottaging. But George, I don't know why you're laughing. You came out a couple of weeks ago. Very brave, stunning and brave.
I love boobs.
Now you're just embracing it.
Yeah.
Now you're just embracing it.
Yeah. No, not my brand. Not that kind of Greek.
So how are you, George?
Well, I'm actually doing pretty good. You know, I was I keep watching the feud with Victoria Alonso going at it, and I think that's hilarious. But no,
we win. Either way, we win.
No, I just dropped off the family. Like I said, they're going out of town, but it's been a while since I drove to the airport, fucking like hour away, and it's like when you don't take a long drive in a while, you forget how crazy people are on the road. You know how they just can't drive, and it starts drizzling a little bit, and immediately you think it's the end of the world. People, start slamming brakes, start slowing to a crawl. And I'm like, half of you, we're in Texas, you're in SUVs, you're fine. Just keep driving. But no, you literally think someone's like firing at them. Anyway, it's too funny. But I was listening to Alonzo going on about how she was fired because she helped produce that movie, Anastasia or something, 85 for Amazon. And then what do you think of Perlmutter being gone now?
Oh, what a shame.
It's like, you're like, pull out the popcorn and let's have a little bit of fun.
Yeah. I shed lots of tears yesterday. Here's my shedding tears for Ike Perlmutter.
Argentina, 1985. You didn't cottage?
I've never cottaged in my life, George.
How would you know the term though?
Because I'm educated.
I'm educated. I don't go around these little dark corners of the web.
You'd have it to Yorkshire then.
But you know what I did find funny is Hot Toys put out their new release, and it's like the Iron Man, the 100th, Disney. That's what it's called. It's like
I have not seen. Let me.
It's just an Iron Man knockoff. It's just an Iron Man. I think the Mark III just redone in the silver and red.
I just got Kang. I just see Kang as the.
You don't see the Iron Man?
It's not on Sideshow. Put it that way.
No, it's on Hot Toys. Yeah. I just thought, how lazy.
Sending me to Sideshow again.
Really? Here, I'll show it to you.
Yeah. So, you gonna order it?
Oh, what's funny is
here we go. I got it. Oh wow, that is really lazy. Yeah, that is the Mark III. With just silver decal. That is it.
I mean, that is just. I mean, there's no other word for it. Lazy. Nothing different. And they even Sideshow sent me an email the other day, and I didn't pay attention to it, so I just went back early this morning. It was like, sign up because there's only going to be 300 of these available.
Oh well.
To reserve your slot. And I was like, a few years ago, I would have been like, yes. I'd have been calling the customer, please reserve me one. I would have do anything just to be able to get a hold of it. Now I'm like, wow, how times change. But I mean, literally, what does it say about them as a company, though? I mean, especially now with all the competition that's going on in our.
I would not expect anything less.
Yeah,
I wouldn't expect anything less at all. Disney probably just went, I'll just do some Iron Man shit.
No, but you don't think this also is representative of Hot Toys? They used to lead.
I mean,
they used to lead the 1/6 industry.
Before I can start playing that game, I need to see this stuff coming from in arts.
Okay.
Because I need something to start to judge it against.
To put your hands on, because I've seen some of the pictures. I've gotten mixed messages.
I still haven't had my Joker sent.
Gandalf.
A Gandalf? No, I've not got that.
Did you order the bats?
Yeah, all of it.
The whole shebang.
Yeah.
Are you going to use them to set up next to the Hot Toys or to the Hot Toys Deluxe one?
Well, I mean, I have some Hot Toys with some third party, so I want to. But I'm also ordered all the Hot Toys Batman stuff because I want to do a comparison between the two. And
then you're just going to keep the best one. Or are you going to set up like a cave? Like you were talking about a cave before.
I gotta get a new place for a cave.
Gotcha.
That's gonna be a little bit away. But yeah, I mean, I love the Mark III. I think the Mark III is my favorite suit, but that is really uninspiring.
It is. I mean, I think they mentioned it 3 weeks ago. They're going to have this big release coming out right before April. And I was
But
like, oh, okay.
it does look like the Silver. It's kind of like a mix between the Mark III and the Silver Centurion.
It is.
And isn't that what the Mark 43 was essentially as well?
Pretty much. But it's just there's no effort to it. It's like low energy.
No, it's the same mold with just different color. Instead of gold, we're going with silver or
But
platinum, whichever what they want to call it. I don't care.
But what it seems is that it's what's happening to Disney, what's happening to Hollywood studios is now kind of like in many ways is endemic of other industries. Like it's now corroding others. It's having a ripple on effect because the way that they're behaving has pushed customers away. And so then you have these third companies, the second tier and third tier companies who work with them, who produce collectibles, products, posters, so on and so forth. And they're not doing anything new. They're just pushing what Disney's doing. I mean, they can't do that forever.
Hot Toys are not known for their risks.
And they used to be years ago.
Years ago, until they got safe.
I think sometimes that's the worst thing in life. I mean, it's what many people crave.
What's the best thing in life?
To crush your enemies and see them driven before you.
Crush your enemies, see them driven before you, and hear the lamentations of the women.
Yeah.
God, what is best in life?
What is best?
I wouldn't say I took a risk, but I bought a thing yesterday.
What thing?
Big thing.
Big thing or big little thing?
Big thing.
What's it look like? Bigger than a bread box?
Bigger than a bread box. I'm going to show you because this doesn't release until Q2 of next year.
Ah, well, let's whip it out. Let's see it. Oh, is this XM?
Yeah. I got the Rodimus Prime.
So you pulled the trigger. Good.
I pulled the trigger on the Galvatron.
Yeah, it's a bit.
So
Wait a minute.
This is coming out Q2 of next year.
You're gonna love XM.
I've got the Rodimus Prime. The Rodimus Prime is incredible. And then this Galvatron is like, come on.
What about the Optimus? You're gonna get Optimus eventually?
I would like to get the Bumblebee.
Oh, not
when the Bumblebee comes out. That's what I want. I want the Bumblebee. Galvatron looking fantastic. Oof. So I'm gonna have Rodimus at one end, Galvatron at the other end, on the top of my module case is gonna be delicious.
Is that LED?
Yes.
Oh.
You pull out, because Rodimus has got one as well. You pull out like the safeguard, and then it just kicks in automatically.
Sweet.
Doesn't last for long. Lasted for about 2 days, and then died because it's obviously a liquid crystal thing. But nice. I haven't put the LEDs into Rodimus's head yet.
Okay.
The battery, sorry.
Yeah.
And then you get this small Galvatron as the tank. But yeah, this is pretty beautiful. See, why doesn't the film look like this?
Yeah. That would be awesome. Because we had Michael Bay.
Michael Gay, more like. Unbelievable. This is beautiful, though.
But you remember last week when I was showing you the different heads? We were showing everybody the different heads that I had for customs that I was putting together.
Mm-hmm.
One of them was John Wick. Unfortunately, someone dropped the head. But the outfit, because, Wick 4 is out.
Yeah. Sorry.
So did you like it? I saw what you posted.
I liked it a lot.
Yeah, obviously it's not the end.
I would be very surprised if it's the final John Wick.
No. You know that old rule. No, anyway, I don't know. I'm not going to spoil it here. Well, so anyway, someone dropped the head yesterday while I was out, but the outfit came in. If you remember when he was in, I think it was the first one or the second one, when he had that turtleneck outfit.
Oh yeah. I think the second one.
You see the crack there
Where?
on the side where the paint. Yeah, his hair is black.
Yeah.
Yeah, they dropped it. But it's a really good paint job, and it's a really good sculpt.
It's a really good sculpt.
And so the outfit came. Damn it, that just bothers the hell out of me. See, even the head is wobbly now. Here, if y'all can get closer look to see, look at that sculpt. Now, this was done by an artist called Yelim Choi. I think she's one of the top painters in the world.
Yeah.
For 1/6. I think she's now working for J&D or Blizzard, one or the other.
Oh dear.
Wanted to share that one came in. Have a couple others for later. But it's just amazing when I know I'm hammering this, but when I saw what Hot Toys did, I had just zero compunction to go, I want to buy it. As a matter of fact, it pissed me off. I wanted to cancel more orders.
Well, I mean, if I get any, put it this way, and I'm not being silly Billy here. I'm being legit. If I get any emails from Sideshow saying this item's unprotected, if you don't protect it in 30 days, it'll be cancelled and I'll let it go.
I've gotten a few of those.
That's what I did with my Ahsoka Tano.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Not the
Mandalorian one or the
Mandalorian Ahsoka Tano. It's just like, oh, this isn't protected if you don't. So I just let it go. Let it go.
It happened to me with, I told you, the two Hot Toys that I really wanted from Marvel. Not because I like the films or the shows, just because I like the figure. I had that happen to me was the Doctor Strange, the zombie Strange with all the arms. That I really wanted. But I got one of those emails and I didn't do it. I was like, I'm curious to see what happens.
Well, I've had some more problems with Toys Wonderland this week. I got an email from them saying, we've cancelled your order.
What? I got the email saying that DHL is back.
Well, I got an email saying, we've cancelled your order because you never told us what delivery you wanted for Steppenwolf. I never got any email asking for delivery from Steppenwolf.
Did you call them?
It's Toys Wonderland a waste of fucking time. I will never purchase from that place again. I'm already under the impression that it's fucking dead money there anyway.
Okay. You mean like they're never gonna release the stuff?
Well, I get emails saying we've sent it. Do I get it arriving? Do I fuck? Do I hell? So I'm just like so done with that company. So done. Absolutely terrible company.
And you have I can't remember his name.
And they refunded the money in store credit.
Oh, come on.
Yeah. We've refunded you the money in store credit.
You can't fight it? Because
I need to do a huge email just going, which I'm just too busy at the minute. I need to do a huge email going through all of my orders and just point out this order never arrived. This order never arrived. This order never arrived. This order never arrived. It's a joke. Absolutely ridiculous.
Like I said, there's something I sometimes wonder if Hollywood is leading the way in the desiccation of the desiccation of the culture, or it's just a reflection of what's going on around the world. Because think about it, you remember the old thing: give the customer what they want. The customer's always right. That's how I was raised. You grew up that way.
The Squid Game stuff that I ordered was Toys Wonderland, and they never refunded me until I absolutely hounded them. And because I'd ordered like 8 like 14 different soldiers from Squid Game. 8 of one.
Really?
Yeah. 8 of one, 4 of another, 2 of another.
I know
So
you
8
loved it.
Yeah, because I wanted to do a whole little Squid Game set, and I got the doll, you know, the doll for it that comes with the first game and all that stuff.
Oh, I never saw any of those.
And they just I think it's
You have one?
yeah.
I'd love to see one because I always wanted to order one, but I never got around to it. And then I saw multiple knockoffs, and I just didn't look up. You got it. You got it. You think they're coming out with a season 2?
They are coming out with a season 2.
What did you say? That's freaking.
Well, that's what it says in the game.
Yeah. I just don't recall what she had said in the game, but yeah, that's it.
So I, you know, they refunded me for like 2 of them or something,
Right.
and then they didn't refund me for the others, and I sent them a message saying, you know, you've cancelled this, saying that this company's no longer producing them.
Right.
And they went, oh no, it's just those 2. The others they're doing. The other ones with the masks that they're doing. So
That was their answer?
yeah. So I waited and I waited and I waited, and nearly a year went past and still nothing. I was just like, look, what is going on with this?
Yeah.
You know, you said that they cancelled the triangle head, let's just say, but they're still doing the circle and the square. I've seen nothing from that, nothing from them, and then I'm like, oh yeah, they're not doing them. We'll refund. And that was like a back and forth, like 4 emails, you know,
Right.
because they were just like, oh no, you've been refunded for it. No, I fucking haven't.
That just doesn't. Yeah, I haven't had it that bad. I've had a mixed bag. I've had 3 issues, 2 pain in the ass, and everything else has gone okay. But I started using, that's what I was just typing. I started using this other company. I just have it on my iPad. I don't have it here on the desktop. It's called, I don't know if you've checked it out. It's called, where are you? Oh, it's Giant Toy. Have you used Giant Toy?
No.
Have you heard of it? Or you heard bad things? Or because I had everything I've
haven't,
done so
but,
far, I've gotten good stuff.
Let me just ask somebody.
Yeah.
2 secs. Gotta find. Here it is. Here's my phone. Let me just ask somebody. Robert, have you heard of Giant Toys?
Giant Toy. Wait a minute, I can't hear you, Az. Giant Toys.
Toys, Robert.
Yes, I think I might have something from Giant Toys. I think they're a
George,
reputable outlet.
Robert says he might have something from George.
Does he
from
have a
Giant
good
Toys.
experience? Ask him. Did he have
He
a good
says they're reputable. Did you say reputable?
Yeah, I think they are.
He says they're reputable.
Yeah.
So they're not a cottage.
Are they,
No.
they're not part of the cottage industry, are they?
No, I've never stayed in a cottage from Giant Toys before.
Ed doesn't think so, no, George.
Okay. Makes sense.
Hello.
Hello there, gentlemen. Good to see you
Hello.
once again. I've been, arguing with people on Twitter about my apparent feud with Doomcock.
Yes.
You know what's really very funny? I here's the thing. I think it's very funny when it comes to, like, we collect toys, talk about Star Trek. It's all theater. It's theater. It's supposed to be fun. It
is supposed to be fun, yes.
But I've never really taken it all very seriously. Although, you know what I do take seriously? I take seriously the fact that I got my Juice Girl in the mail yesterday.
Excuse me.
So it's called Juice Girl, but it's actually Hella. It's a third-party re-release of Kate Blanchett. See, because I was broke. I shouldn't say broke. I had no disposable income when the Ragnarok or Rogue One figures were released. So I never got any of them. So I've been going back and slowly plugging holes in my collection, but I always wanted, just because I love Kate Blanchett.
Yeah.
And I like that figure, but it's incredibly expensive. But they released this third-party repop or recast called Juice Girl.
Do you remember when she comes out in the scene right in the beginning where before she destroys the hammer, where her outfit is kind of torn up for a few seconds?
Yes.
And her hair is all wild?
Yes.
Do you like that look?
Yes.
I have 2 head sculpts done by Master. It's rooted hair with the mascara if y'all want. Right, because no one would produce it. Because when Hot Toys originally said they were going to produce a deluxe version and it was going to be rooted, but then, like always, they didn't go through. They just gave you the sculpted with the horns.
Yes. Yeah.
Well,
I love that look.
If you like that, I'll send
fearsome.
it to you because I have 2 of them.
Wow, that's very generous. I would love that. That's a great. It's funny. I
love that look. Like I
it's
love,
very well. It's
first I love-
Kirby. She's Kirby. The design was very Kirby-esque.
I
And
love Kate Blanchett, especially what she did in Tar. Did you ever see Tar?
dude, that was my favorite movie of last year.
Really?
And I love that movie, and I think it's misunderstood. It's,
She did a phenomenal acting.
She's amazing.
I wish we saw more of her.
I'd love to see more of her.
She does. You know what? One of my favorite roles that a lot of people overlook for her is what she did with DiCaprio in The Aviator when she played Hepburn. I loved her Hepburn.
I love that movie. I think that movie doesn't get enough love.
I agree.
It's people call it lesser Scorsese, but I don't think it is.
I don't know why. I don't know why, but I think her performance also was king.
Yeah. By the way, I didn't know. Were you guys in the middle of having a conversation about toys?
We were talking about
my shocking service with Toys Wonderland.
Or lack thereof.
Well, lack thereof, and horse shittery afoot to left, right, and center, and orders not arriving, and
they have a lot of money of mine, and it's like, where's my InArts Joker that I paid shipping for back in January?
Hey, there you go. I'm still waiting. There's somebody we should ask. It's just I talked to him a couple of times years ago, but he supposedly knows him. He has a Hot Toys channel, I think. It's called Justin.
Oh yeah, I know Justin. We know Justin. We've streamed with Justin.
Oh, I've never streamed with him, but because I always know on his video reviews, he always says, you can buy this at Toys Wonderland. So I figured he has a relationship with them. He must know them.
Yeah, I don't know. He's helped me out there, but I don't know. I mean, I got the Juice Girl from Comic Sanctorum, which is an offshoot of Toys Wonderland,
which is basically that even dodgier arm.
Giant Toy. That's what I was talking to.
It's like being a software provider and then setting up your own store next door to sell knockoff software.
Right. But you know what's funny? I've always had very good service from them. I've everything. Because I've this stuff like the Juice Girl I ordered like 2 years ago.
Here's who I know you've been using to replace Toys Wonderland as of 9 months ago. And so far, it's been spot on.
Well, I got my InArt stuff from Spec Fiction.
Oh yeah.
This is the company, Giant Toy. I've had good luck with them.
In all honesty, I have ordered things from them before, and
excuse me. Up. Yeah, I got 2 of those Tiefas.
So yeah, they're I like 1/6 kit is really good too.
1/6 kit, I do like 1/6 kit, but they've gone more. They've tailored down their order because the guy actually runs. I spoke to him a couple of years. He actually has a little shop, tiny little shop, I think in Hong Kong. It's near the Hot Toy store. Who I've been using. Well, who I originally was using before Toys Wonderland was 1/6 Outfitters.
Right. I
never had issues.
I use 1/6 Outfitters.
Yeah,
apparently, I'm still waiting for I think a couple of things from them.
I actually am too. I'm waiting for the Ryan Gosling from Blade Runner 2049.
Oh, you talk about Blade Runner. Okay.
I'm waiting. I think from them, I'm waiting for the Militarum 1/6 40K figure.
Yeah, I mean they'll get it to you. I ordered the Heat, the Robert De Niro and Heat figure, and I ordered it 2 years ago, and when it came in, I got the shipping notice and they shipped it to me.
Do you know what I do have here? I've got to move this because it's actually blocking my window a little bit. You know what I did get?
Huh.
This was a Christmas present.
To yourself?
No. My Christmas present from Gary hasn't arrived. Don't worry, folks. My Christmas present and birthday present that Gary says still got. No, they haven't arrived. But
Oh, dude, that's the
yeah.
best. Yep. Martino Simone too, man. Yeah.
I gotta pull mine out. We gotta do that next week or the week. We'll pull them all out and show them. Have the big.
Yeah, the I just moved the Enterprise. I had my Enterprise hanging, but I'm moving stuff around in the studio. I'm gonna hang it back up. That thing is great.
Turn it around so we can see the box behind. Please, sir.
Yeah,
yeah.
It's really cool.
Love it. I love Playmobil. Love it.
Yeah. Martino got me. I have the A-Team van. I have Kit. Knight Rider. Then the DB7, DB5.
That's what I want.
DB5,
I want the DB5. I don't have that yet.
It's really good.
I was watching,
and he got us both. This is what he got both Robert and me, and he also got us a Playmobil Enterprise.
Yeah, he got us the Enterprise.
Well, he did the same. What was it? The very first show. I was talking about it, I was like, "Oh, that's beautiful." I haven't collected Playmobil in years. Not Playboy. And the gentleman
you're
was
still
like,
collecting that.
No, they don't have women on it anymore.
No, they just put them back, but they put the girls back. Yeah,
I saw that they put somebody on the cover who was pretending to be a woman.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, no. After
this died, I can't fap to this. Playboy, nice. I cannot fap to this. Come on.
No, it's not possible. At least not for our brand. But no, Martino was very nice. So he's like, "You want one?" I was like, and it was literally the first time I was streaming. I was like, yeah. And
I still owe him my voiceover. God damn it, I keep forgetting.
I still gotta do mine. In all fairness, though,
we have to do it.
We're both shit.
We're terrible.
It's driving me crazy since your stream the other night. I was about to send you another super chat. The figure in a tuxedo right behind you with its head turned. I can't tell who that is.
You know what you mean the one that's right there?
Yeah.
It's a statue of Vito Corleone from The Godfather.
Ah, okay.
I was moving that too. It's a quarter scale figure.
Is that the Prime Studios or the Sideshow one?
No, it's
or Blizzard.
It's Blitzway.
Blitzway.
Blitzkrieg.
Yeah, I bought that, and I have the Catherine Trammell from Basic Instinct that's over there.
Because I have that one. It's still in the box. Is the carpet like they said? It's supposed to be real carpet in the base.
Does it match the drapes? Does the carpet match the drapes?
Yeah.
She's supposed to not have any drapes, I thought, down there.
No, I really like it a lot. The pose.
Wait,
when I moved,
you like the carpet or which one? You like flatboard or you like
hardboard.
Shaggy? Hardboard, flatboard. I'm in Texas.
I like styled. As long as it's styled.
A little mustache.
It all depends because that
as long
says,
as I'm not flossing my fucking teeth, all right. I've got product for that.
Oh, boy.
Do you want to see my latest Transformer?
Yes, I do. Somebody in the chat says that they like my band, although I've still got U.S. Agent there. But I saw I saw somebody's putting out a third party Smooth Criminal Michael Jackson.
Oh yes.
I've seen that.
I'm gonna have to get that. Oh, that's awesome.
There's Wheeljack. I know I wanted a Wheeljack, but this is ridiculous. But it came. I mean, this came with this.
Wow, are those articulated?
Yes, they are.
Wow.
These bend at the knee.
That's cool.
This came with this, which also came with. It also came with this.
Wow.
Which is a jazz.
Yeah, those are so cool.
But they came with this. I don't get why they did it, but they came with something that was just completely not the right size. Because it also came with this.
Wow. So who made is that the masterpiece version?
This is the Takara masterpiece.
Yeah. Wow.
So this is the Jetfire, Skyfire, whichever one you prefer to name it as. Takara masterpiece. Now I do have the Fans Toys version. But I wanted one. I knew that the Takara was going to come transformed.
Right.
So I actually wanted a transformed version. And of course, if you've seen the cartoon, Skyfire is huge. in reality. And yes, the Transformers actually do go inside a Jetfire, and he transports around. I put the thrusters on the back as well.
That's really cool.
But this is, and I put it on the stand. You got to be careful because there's a lot of trunk.
Yeah.
So the stand, you got to get it really precise to balance that way. Otherwise, it's going to go all over the place. But this is a beauty. It comes with a blank slate or a Decepticon logo as well, because Skyfire used to be a Decepticon. And used to be a scientist with Starscream before being buried in ice for millions of years. And then the Decepticons freed him. It was just like, why are they fighting the naughty Autobots? What's going on with that? And the Autobots, we're not naughty. We're the good guys. And he's just like, well, I'm gonna be a good guy. But the cartoon's completely out of order. So Skyfire actually appears in one of the episodes before they've dug him out the ice. Which is fantastic.
Well, that is, just reorder it.
Yeah, one of the great things about watching the cartoon back is just how many times they miscolor the Transformers. You'll have Thundercracker, and then it'll suddenly be Starscream, and then it'll be Thundercracker again, and then maybe Skywarp. They just complete and utterly would miscolor the Transformers over and over. And then I've got one more. And George,
yes,
you'll appreciate this because I have been saying I want one of these. And there was a third-party company that did one. Now, I've put the stickers on myself, but Acid Storm.
Oh,
wow,
very nice.
Now, is that third party?
Yeah, this is third party.
What company is that? Fans Toys or no?
No. I'll bring the box up in a second.
Nice.
But very poseable. Doesn't transform like a Takara Masterpiece.
Okay.
Transforms differently. But this actually came transformed in robot form, which is great because that's how I want it to go with the rest of these Seekers. But it is still the same size. I put the Decepticon stickers on, which are meant to be upside down. They're meant to be like that. And the back is relatively tight. All you have to do when you get this is just tuck this bit in. This bit will be up here. All you got to do is just open that up and then tuck that down and then put that back down. And then you can have the free reign. Comes with blast effects, comes with change of face plates.
How are the blast effects? Are they like the ones we saw from Pat?
No, a little bit. They're kind of like your Takara blast effects.
Oh, I like those. But I know this is going to be a dumb question, but why is the logo upside down? I know you said it's supposed to be.
Because when it transforms, the wings put it in the right way.
Oh, yeah. Because I'm sure some people would know that. Cool. Thank you.
That's why when it transforms, they're upside down. But when they're in plane form,
beautiful, and
you're looking down on it, they'll be shown displayed in the right direction. So I need a Sunstorm to go with that. So I got the Acid Storm, I need the Sunstorm, and then I'm raking my brain to remember what the third cameo Seeker was.
Hey, have you guys that there's breaking news from Paramount?
No.
Kurtzman's got his contracts renewed.
No. It wasn't his contract being renewed. Paramount orders diverse, teen-focused Star Trek Starfleet Academy series to follow the blossoming friendships, explosive rivalries, and first loves of a new class of Starfleet cadets who are as young as 16.
Aren't they learning that this is what people want this season? And
the showrunner is Noga Landau, who will serve as co-showrunner. She showran Nancy Drew. Admission is now open to Starfleet Academy. Kurtzman and Landau said in a joint recruitment-like statement, "Explore the galaxy, captain your destiny. For the first time in over a century, our campus will be reopened to admit individuals a minimum of 16 Earth years or species equivalent who dream of exceeding their physical, mental, and spiritual limits, who value friendship, camaraderie, honor, and devotion to a cause greater than themselves. The coursework will be rigorous. The instructors among the brightest lights in their respective fields, and those accepted will live and study side by side with the most diverse population of students ever admitted."
I don't think I've ever had a drink on screen. Well, here's the first time.
Oh, boy.
Unbelievable. Tell me about that, Robert. Are they not seeing the reaction both online and offline, right, to what's going on with the card season?
Well,
this is the recipe. This is the track.
This has been in development. What's really interesting is this goes all the way back to Harv Bennett, when he was producing Star Trek II. And when Harv Bennett took over from Roddenberry to produce the film series after motion picture, he always wanted to do a Starfleet Academy series.
Right.
And, there's been Starfleet Academy books and things like that. The problem with a Starfleet Academy show is it's fundamentally not Star Trek.
Mm-hmm.
You're in school. Like, who wants to watch, if you're a Star Trek fan and, Space, The Final Frontier, who wants to watch a show about cadets at Starfleet Academy?
I've actually got a leaked script from episode 1. Quote,
of Starfleet
person
Academy?
1, like, oh my God and stuff. We're like totes at Starfleet Academy and things.
Are you being serious?
Player 2. Oh, yes. Holy fuck shit, cunt waffle. This is everything they ever wanted to do in Starfleet. Fancy a fuck.
And donut hole. You forgot donut hole. And sauce. Tinder sauce, donut hole. Come on. No.
Well, it's.
I need to Irish this coffee up a bit.
That's what I just said. Funny. I had my drink because I can't believe they would do that. But this is one thing I've never really understood. I'm glad you're here, Robert. So, you greenlight a project after you've worked everything out. You move forward. Now, if they obviously, we talked about it before, they go through a lot of rewrites, correct? Whether it's television or film. So when you see something, you go, guess what, guys? We greenlit this like 2 years ago, but now we're seeing the reaction, weighing it against Discovery, weighing it against Strange Worlds, and we see Picard and weighing it against Picard season 1 and 2, and we see 3 is really pulling people in. It's got the fans back. Maybe we should go back to the drawing board with this. Do they not do that?
Here's the thing is, it's still a business, and everyone is always thinking about.
That's not helping.
Yeah,
but a business needs to make money, no? Customers
right. But there's no. The thing is, and this is what happened with Star Trek Picard season 3. The reason it went down the way it did is because Alex Kurtzman went off to do his sequel to The Man Who Fell to Earth. Okay. So, and then Akiva Goldsman went to do Star Trek Strange New Worlds. And Michael Chabot left to do his show Cavalier and Claire. So they needed a showrunner. And they had brought in Terry Matalas on season 2. And so he was given a slot. And he was basically given carte blanche to do anything he wanted. So he brought over a lot of his writing staff and his collaborators from the 12 Monkeys TV series, which is excellent. Yeah, it's an excellent time travel show, and it, again, based on the
Monkeys,
the movie, the 12 Monkeys movie,
because it had the guy. I didn't mean to interrupt you. It had the captain of the Titan in it.
Yeah, Todd Stashwick, and that's they were able to get all the collaborators, and he was able to do whatever he wanted. He had Stephen Barton, his composer, he brought from 12 Monkeys, and they said, look, we want to go back into all the Jerry Goldsmith themes and all the themes from TNG and all that. So they were able to make the show that they wanted. But I think what's really interesting about Star Trek as a franchise, most people don't understand its appeal. They understand the pop. If I were to talk to my mom about Star Trek, even though she raised me, my mom would say, well, there's Dr. Spock, Mr. Spock, Mom. Oh, yeah, Mr. Spock and Captain Kirk, and there's Tribbles. Most people understand Star Trek in a pop culture sense.
I got you.
They haven't really sat down and watched it. I mean, fans have, but I mean, the people that work in Hollywood really haven't. Star Trek has never been controlled. When Rick Berman came on board, he wasn't a Star Trek fan. When Nicholas Meyer directed Star Trek II, he had never seen Star Trek. And what's interesting, though, is Nicholas Meyer was a novelist, and he was classically educated. So he could look at and go, okay, this is, I understand.
Themes. He saw
it's
the
her, yeah,
themes.
he saw the themes and was able to, because if you really look at Star Trek 2, it's not so much Star Trek as it is a classical nautical adventure that has been transposed into the Star Trek universe. It's Moby Dick, it's Horatio Hornblower, it's all that stuff, but it works. It works because those great themes are what Star Trek was always about. But the idea of a Starfleet Academy series, I mean, they're trying to, Star Trek was never focused. Kids loved it, but it was never about kids. No. And now you've got these shows that are literally about kids. They've whether it's Lower Decks, whether it's Prodigy, whether it's now Starfleet Academy, because they think of it, it's going to be Harry Potter in space.
Right, but I think
that's how they pitch it.
But I think that's their mistake. It's like they've, in my opinion, everything that Hollywood has been pumping out has been focused and targeted. You know how they used to say it's a 4-quadrant film?
Yes. Star Trek was always 4-quadrant entertainment.
Right. But it seems everything now is just to one targeted group, like very, very young.
Wait a minute. Are you trying to say that Hollywood is just targeting children?
Yeah, pretty much.
Well,
right. But kids don't have the money, nor do they have the experience or the understanding of the thing. I mean, it's like you need to give the kids what the kids deserve and what's good for them. But it seems to me like when you have a recipe, like in business, if I'm sitting here and I put a marketing plan together and I bump X amount of money into it, and after a month, 3 months, 6 months, it's not going well, I'm going to readjust. Anything I do, I'm going to constantly readjust. But I never see, it's like Hollywood seems to have more accidents. I'll tell you why I'm saying this. I'm working on a video right now going through the history of Hollywood because I've been trying to understand how we got into this woke era, like in Hollywood, and how are they going to get out of it? And what I realized was that Hollywood actually went through 3 primary almost extinction events.
Yes.
From the silent era, when then the talkies came along, it nearly crushed the industry.
Yes.
They're like, oh God, now we got to get new actors, new acting styles. But I didn't realize that television actually almost destroyed Hollywood.
Yep. But that's how we got widescreen cinema and things like CinemaScope and VistaVision and
because
they
kept to the
now we got pronouns.
But they kept to the core because they kept to the core. The Louis B. Mayer kind of like give the customer what they want.
Right.
Somewhere along the way, someone replaced that with fuck the customer.
No, George. They replaced it with give the customer what we want.
Yes.
That's what it got replaced with.
And I think what is I think very interesting now is obviously when you're making anything in Hollywood, it's incredibly expensive. And everybody wants things to be risk averse, which is why everybody delves into these IPs. Let's recycle things we already know work, even though half the time they update these things and they don't work.
And then they scratch their heads and go,
like,
yeah.
And you're the producer and someone brings up to you and says, we want to do Starfleet Academy. You would say no.
Well, I would say that a Starfleet Academy. See, what they've decided now is everything is like, oh, it's a shared universe. But the thing about Star Trek was fundamentally it's about the best of humanity.
Correct.
It came out of the greatest generation, the people that fought in World War II. Roddenberry was a war vet.
Right.
And so Star Trek is about the best people, the best humans that exist, the top 1%. They are the elite. And they have to be, otherwise you're not going to survive the final frontier. That's the whole point. And you're collaborating with the alien races of the Federation that are also the top 1% of the people that they're with.
Do you remember a certain episode, Robert, called Tapestry?
Tapestry.
Yep, absolutely.
That was kind of about being the best that you can be, not playing it safe. If you don't take risks, if you don't put yourself out there, if you don't display courage, leadership, then you will get left behind.
That's exactly right. And that episode, in a nutshell, is what Star Trek was all about. Not to be middle of the road, and I think the problem is now they look at things like Harry Potter, they look at Vampire Academy, they look at all these shows, and they think, oh, okay, we can use that template and point. They go, it's Harry Potter in space, or whatever. I mean, the whole point is, but that's not what Star Trek is. That's not what people wanted to see. And there have been episodes like there was an episode in the first season of Next Generation called Coming of Age where Wesley's taking the Starfleet entrance exam. The problem is, who wants to watch a show where you're waiting to get into space?
No, you want to be in space.
I mean, because the thing about Starfleet Academy is it's you can meet people from the Academy. They did episodes like The First Duty in Next Generation when Wesley, you could do an episode or two of that, but will it sustain an entire series?
Which one was the one where he was at the Academy and he was part of? Because I told you I know all of the Star Trek, I just don't remember the names. The one where he was part of that elite group, and
that was the First Duty.
By the way, that is Tom Paris.
Right. Yeah. Yes.
But they couldn't use Tom Paris for Voyager because they would have to pay royalties to the writer every time he was in an episode.
That's right.
Which would be every episode.
Yeah.
So they had to change his name in Voyager, where he retained 90% of the same backstory.
Wow.
But they changed his name to Tom Paris for Voyager's benefit. But that is just if you want your own headcanon. That's the same character.
It is, it really is.
My favorite character in the story was the one that Picard was talking to, who used to be in My Favorite Martian, the gardener.
Boothby.
Boothby.
The actor. Remember him from My Favorite Martian, the television series?
Yep.
I love that. But
Ray Walston.
Ray Walston. But how much could you watch of that? Like, it held my attention, and I enjoyed it for 1-2 episodes or 2 parts, but not more than that.
Yeah, I mean, but the thing is that they're because the people that they Nicholas Locarno's the name of the character that Robert Duncan McNeil was playing, but it's just a weird. It's just the world that we live in. Like the idea of Starfleet Academy has been kicking around for decades, and now they're going to finally go do it because I think they don't. I honestly believe that a lot of these writers don't know how to write adults anymore.
Maybe they're getting them too young
they're not adults.
Experience.
They haven't grown up in an adult environment. They haven't socially developed as an adult. They've been brought up on a diet of online chat rooms, Tumblr, and Twitter. They don't know how to communicate anymore. They don't know how to actually develop physical relationships together. They think everything's a soap opera because that's all they have as a referral device.
And they've had how many we've had a superhero academy movie in Sky High. They've already done this with every single genre. Every single fantasy genre.
I'm surprised they haven't done Jedi Academy. I mean, that actually would have more interest to people because you see the Jedi training.
But they've had those books.
Yeah, I know they have the books.
But in the video game.
Yeah. I mean, and it's a really, I mean, once again, whether there's a lot of people that they're not on board necessarily with Star Trek Picard season 3, but I would offer, like in the 4th episode when Riker talks about how it felt to watch his son being put around, and that ongoing grief was something. That's why he had to leave Deanna and his daughter. And by the end of that episode, when he sees the birth, he's telling her, I've witnessed. He said, I've been to one side of the galaxy to the other, and I've seen no evidence there's an afterlife.
And then he walked out right in the middle of
right.
It's just like, fucking hell, mate.
Yeah, and
but then TNG, you'd be like, impulse thrusters until we're clear. Make sure that we've got X amount of gap between, and then we can go to warp. Now,
but they
10,000 of those babies died.
Well, last night's episode was killer.
Well,
we haven't got it yet. We get it tomorrow.
I can tell you all about it, Ass.
but the thing about that is when at the end of that episode, Riker does say that I've witnessed a birth here, and he remembers, okay, there is awe and wonder and joy and hope in the universe. And that's pretty adult. I mean, I've had friends that have lost children, and you never get over that grief.
No, it's a hole in you.
And the fact that what's really interesting to me about Picard season 3 is you're dealing with these characters, 30 years later, lives move on, they change. And this whole season is about what are the ramifications about what we've done in our lives? How does it echo through the rest? And even when you haven't seen it yet, but when you find out about why Vadic what her beef is.
Right. I do have one question. Well, I have a lot of questions, but
and it's a great, but it speaks to the radicalization of here on Earth. How many times do we go into the United States? Does the United States go into a country and bust it up? We destroy, Iraq, and then how many people are radicalized that are left behind?
Right. But I have one question without giving away what it was last night, so I don't ruin it for us. Is that there is a line? You remember when you had Crusher and Picard talking, and they're talking about moral compass?
Yes.
What that's it as you can is so what happened is I don't understand why they're focusing so much with Star Trek that I grew up with, the OG, and then TNG, except for about 5 episodes. The Federation was this pure thing. You didn't have the constantly these dark corners. Why do you think they've gone that route? Okay, Ez.
You can come back. Well, I think, it's interesting, like Deep Space Nine was a show about what happens if you have a utopian civilization and then an external force comes and you have to, that wants to get rid of your utopian civilization. How do citizens of a utopia stand up and fight?
Oh, you're talking about when that admiral, was it, who wanted to basically remove the Federation president in Deep Space Nine?
Well, yeah, I mean, there was all
about the Cardassian invasion of Bajor, but
yeah, the Cardassian, and there's so how do you deal with that? And I think that's the problem with our civilization now is we don't to believe, like Star Trek believed that we would have this bright future, and I think there's a lot of people that don't see a bright future now. And they're trying to make it much more. I mean, Star Trek was a fantasy, allegory, sci-fi, action, adventure show.
That's
and
what
now
separated it from
everything.
The wheat from the chaff. Star Trek was the optimistic future for mankind. We did it. It took some time, and we went through another world war, but we sorted it eventually.
Yeah, we sorted it out, and I think that's what is missing from Star Trek now. Because you have to assume that Star Trek was a future history that never will happen. But it's history. You should treat it like any other historical event, like World War II or something, even though it's not real. The universe is real. Like nobody would come in and say one of the things about like Harry Potter is that there's such a fealty to the original text in the movies. And that was by design. And I feel now the problem with Star Trek is everybody wants to come in and say, oh, Roddenberry's vision was naive. And let's come in here and put our imprimatur on it. And you look at it, and what they've done to Star Trek is they've dumbed it down.
Yes.
They've and you see that in Star Trek 09.
But you see it in Star Wars as well, though.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
Did you see the last Mandalorian episode?
I haven't watched this week's yet.
Okay, so
with the
I
pirates.
was enjoying the first 2. This last one, it killed it for me. What is the one thing we know, without giving anything away, what is the one thing we know so far about the Mando creed? Which, this is the way.
This is the way. This
it's
is the way.
inflexible.
This is the way.
Right.
This is the way. 2 pieces of toilet paper. This is the way. 3 chickpeas and a chicken breast. This is the way.
Right.
1 glass of water every 6 hours. This is the way. This is the fucking way. Shut the fuck up about this is the fucking way.
Yes, you're right, but that is the point. They've made that incessantly and obsessively, right? And then in last night's episode, it fucking went out the window. This is the way. I guess it doesn't fucking matter anymore.
Well, yeah, I mean, plus it's also impractical. I mean, do you get to take a shower?
Right, but they explain that when you're by yourself, you take the shit off. You can take it off.
Have they explained that though?
Yeah, they did in the episode prior because she was asking them like, well, how the hell do I eat? They're like, well, we all go off by ourselves.
Right. Yeah.
You're the war leader. You can stay here. You by the fire. And my point is though, is that even Mando, I think in season 1, when the woman was asking him, do you ever take it off? And he's like, yeah, when I'm alone.
Right.
Well, when I'm eating, looking outside of a window, that anyone can turn around and go, hey, Pedro. Hey, mate. What's the food like? Is it all right?
But hey, but it's like they wrote themselves into a corner. It's like, this is the way. And now all of a sudden, when they come back in the last episode to counter that, like, okay, well, you can take your head off. You can take your helmet off.
That's not the most impractical thing, but I'm not interested in season 3. I'm checked out now.
I know.
The most impractical thing to me is his ship. He had the erase quest, which was a ship that you could live in. Now he's essentially living in a fucking ship.
Where's the bathroom? Where's the bathroom?
Doesn't he get like claustrophobia all the time being in the cockpit? Where does he eat? Where does he shit? Where does all this happen? He's just in a fucking cockpit.
Yeah, it's
like a Ferrari. It's like, you arrive by before you.
I don't want to live in a Ferrari, George. I want to drive one.
I don't think he lives in that. I think it's just transportation. The Razor Crest was home.
He must reek to high
Where's he going to get a
heaven.
blowjob in there is what you're saying. There's no room.
He's got to, look, he's a man. He needs to fiddle the electricity, That cockpit, it's going to open up and people are going to go, fucking hell.
Yeah, but that's another thing. There's no verisimilitude anymore.
No,
I mean the thing about, like, the Millennium Falcon was a space 18-wheeler.
Oh yeah,
it was a cargo ship, and it hauled things around. It was like I've always said, Han Solo is the bandit from Smokey and the Bandit. He's a truck driver. Luke's a farmer.
Hell yeah,
they're Americana, and what happened with Star Wars, in the original Star Wars, we related to both Han Solo and Luke Skywalker because we knew people like that.
Of course.
It's a farmer, and we all have been in Luke's position watching those twin setting suns of Tatooine. We might not have had a French horn behind us going, no, but we've all wondered, where's my future? I'm going to be stuck in this shithole farming moisture out of the desert air for the rest of my life. I mean, is there not more to my life? And we all understood that. And now what happened, I think, with Star Wars is that there's no more. It's not about the everyman trying to be better, finding that now everybody's elite. You're a Mandalorian, you're a Jedi, and I get that. But whatever happened to, where's the Luke in any of this?
Right.
Somebody that gets to become a Jedi and gets to, now it's everyone's already cool.
When everybody is special, say it with me. When everybody's special, nobody's special.
Yeah.
They aren't.
Apart from the people who write the show, they're fucking special.
Yeah, and it's very funny because so now we're getting a Starfleet. I can't wait. Now I've got plenty of people have been saying that I've been a shill for Paramount. Ooh, just you wait.
You know what I've never seen is, I don't want to see that, but I've never seen.
I'm getting my knives ready.
I was going to ask you. Someone advised me the other day to watch Strange Worlds, and I was talking about Picard season 3, and I enjoyed it.
Strange New Worlds is terrible.
I've never seen it. So I was going to ask you.
Let's just say I'm not a fan at all.
So not worth
okay.
it.
Do you know right? Gentlemen, if I could just lower the tone for a moment, please. We've all made a woman come in our time. Okay? Yes?
Yeah.
We've all heard the legitimate thralls of a woman coming. Star Trek Strange New World is
Oh God.
It's a fake orgasm. It's an absolute fake orgasm. It's like, look at these visuals. Doesn't this look Star Trek-y? Look at the bright colored costumes. It's bright and hopeful. And then you actually listen to it, and it's still full of the same emo crap, the same lack of any sort of structure within the chain of command. It's full of all the old stupid tropes and the meaning of males and there's just this nihilistic
there's no banging,
space.
there's no squeaking bed, no screaming and moaning. It's just
no. And I'll tell you what they've really done. They've done some things that, like the Gorn, for instance. They've decided to use the Gorn. They basically turn the Gorn into alien, like xenomorphs that gestate inside of you. And the funny thing about that is, to me, when you first meet the Gorn in the first season of the original series in Arena, they're a spacefaring race that has technologically more advanced propulsion systems than we do. Their ships are faster than ours. And the idea when you meet them is that the Federation put a base in their territory. We just didn't know it. And when they attacked Cestus 3, it's because they had legitimate beef with the Federation. And when Kirk and the Gorn captain have to fight, the Metrons have a reason. They're like, you know, we're not allowing you to commit violence in our solar system. Fight it out amongst yourselves. And when Kirk is about to kill his enemy, he stops himself. He stays his hand and he says, you know what? I'm not going to kill you because you might have had a reason for doing what you've done. And we could be in the wrong. Gotcha. And then the Metron shows up and goes, we did not expect this of you. You just showed us a quality of mercy. Maybe there's hope for your race. Maybe there is hope for you. And so the Metrons send both the Gorn captain and Captain Kirk back to his ship. This is a pretty sophisticated episode, even though people always, now everybody laughs at the Gorn. People forget what the episode, so, let's make the Gorns the evil alien xenomorphs in Strange New Worlds. A complete bastardization and fundamental lack of understanding of what the Gorns represented in Star Trek in the first place.
Well, Robert, can you just, for George's benefit, can you just tell George who the crew member is that went through that?
That went through, oh yes. So there is a...
Why is Daz laughing?
There's a couple of different things here. There is a descendant of Khan Noonien Singh.
What?
Khan, yes. Khan has a great, and by the way, they know her name.
Did fucking J.J. Abrams pump somebody and slip somebody in there?
It makes no sense at all.
None.
And I'll tell you when I completely checked out of the show and I realized that the people that are making the show have no, and it's Akiva Goldsman, so I don't. In the last episode of the first season of Strange New Worlds, they basically replay the episode Balance of Terror, one of the great episodes of Star Trek ever.
Yeah.
And one of the things about Balance of Terror that made it so great is we get it's the first time you meet the Romulans. We get the psychology because we meet the Romulan commander and we see how he interacts with his second in command, his best friend, his Centurion. Right. And the whole point in this episode is the Romulans are probing Federation defenses. And if they find weakness, they're going to exploit it. They're going to attack. And as the Centurion and the Romulan commander are having this conversation, the Romulan commander says, the Centurion says, but if there's weakness, aren't we obligated to attack? Isn't that what we're supposed to be doing? And the commander says, but must that always be so? Right. And he even says one of the great lines, you know, my gift to the homeland, another war. Right. And even though he's commanding this ship and he's doing his duty, they're having this philosophical conversation about, is this really what we should be doing? Well, they completely, when they replay it, they just rip off, they basically replay Balance of Terror from a different perspective. When they show you the Romulan commander and his Centurion, they hate each other. It's backstabbing. The Centurion betrays his captain. That's not how it
was in the original.
No. And when you look at it, you're like, they don't understand what this was even about.
But because in the original, you have to understand that this is just 2 decades removed from the Second World War.
Yes.
So that is still very much within that public zeitgeist, within that public sphere. And it's essentially saying escalation. You know, if we see weakness, do we take advantage or do we not take advantage? And that when the captain's just like, you know, we don't. But then it's Centurion says, aren't we obligated to? And it's like, well, here's my gift then. World War III. You know, this is my gift to the.
As a matter of fact, it's funny I say that because here's my Balance of Terror shirt.
Yeah, there you go.
When they hire these people, when a studio hires these people, does no one have a conversation and see if they actually have knowledge about the series that they're about to produce or direct or show run? Or they understand basic storytelling and arcs? And
the problem is the people that own the IPs are not storytellers themselves. And so a lot of the people, when I worked at Warner Brothers, for instance, everybody's an Ivy League educated business major. They have a master's degree in business. So they're smart, intelligent people, but they don't know what made something. Yeah, they don't know what made this IP successful in the first place. And the problem is when it comes to things like Star Trek and Star Wars, if people weren't huge fans of it, and they didn't watch this stuff growing up, they have no connection to it. And you can read about why people are attracted to this stuff, but it's always it's a very superficial understanding.
So they're in many ways kind of like replicating aspects of the series. They must look at the fans, us who love it, as aliens to them. They're like, look, we made your Star Trek. Fucking enjoy it and shut up.
You have to remember as well, the Romulan captain was Mark Leonard. And Mark Leonard went on to, of course, become Sarek, not just in the original series, but also in TNG.
Right.
And I think Sarek is one of the best episodes of TNG.
Yeah,
I think that episode still gets me today. It's crazy and just. Sorry, you go.
No, I'm like in the Sarek episode when he has the disease and he's
it's basically watching somebody go through Alzheimer's.
Bendy syndrome.
Bendy.
And you know that I think that if I was at a studio and I controlled the IP like Star Trek, I would have a group of people. I would have a group. First of all, I might hire an executive whose job it was to oversee Star Trek, to know what Star Trek is supposed to be. And if you look, I mean, Alex Kurtzman wrote Star Trek 09. He co-wrote it with Bob Orci, Star Trek 09 and Star Trek Into Darkness. Both of those movies show a complete fundamental lack of understanding of what Star Trek really is. The Kobayashi Maru scenarios, the way it's handled in Star Trek 09 is god-awful. And it's turned, they make it a joke. It turned into a joke, and it's, you know, when Spock says it's a test of character. Kirk says that in Star Trek 2. That's the whole point. They don't understand that. And then you watch a character like Chris Pine's Kirk has no character.
No.
You know, he has and if you watch if you watch the deleted scenes, he actually seduced a girl to reprogram the simulator for him. Which is, I mean, if they did that today, I mean, you'd have people screaming bloody murder.
Oh my God.
White male abused this woman and made her do his bidding, and it's really terrible.
So they don't know.
It's ours for Star Trek.
So Strange Worlds, not going to watch it. Thank you.
I mean, you know what it is? I call it the Vegas review version of Star Trek.
Sounds like J.J. Abrams.
It looks like it's the Las Vegas version of Star Trek. The way Vegas has the Paris casino, and you can go down in Venice or Italy or it's just it's bad.
You know what that reminds me of?
Alex Kurtzman uses crayons. That's a fact.
What he just reminded me of.
All his scripts are handed in crayon.
Yeah.
What Rob just reminded me of, he said Vegas, this kind of like Vegas Star Trek. It reminds me of Deep Space Nine when you had, remember it was in season 5 and 6 when Vic Fontaine and the Hollow Suites comes out. I loved those scenes. I love the episodes when he would come out. And the one where, who was it? Quark's nephew who had gotten injured during the battle.
Nog. Nog lost his leg.
And then he stayed inside the Hollow Suite.
Yeah, he went to live there.
Yeah, I told you I remember all the episodes. I just don't know the names.
That was incredible.
I love that. That's Star Trek. See, it's like you need like a head of a studio say, okay, we're gonna do Star Trek, but you asses, you have to watch all of this, and then come back and tell me about it. Like just
that's and it's just it's really frustrating. But I mean, you know, I knew that Starfleet Academy show was coming.
Really?
So yeah, I was told that it was coming. So
they'd set it up in Discovery.
Yeah, I mean and that's another thing. It takes place in the 32nd century. Who cares?
Who gives a fuck? Exactly. Who gives a fuck?
Wow.
Yeah.
I know I don't.
So what's supposed
I know nobody will.
After that? Do they actually have plans?
Yes. I mean, I've heard various things. I mean, they still keep talking about a Section 31 show, but they ruined Section 31. They ruined it.
Gave them uniforms and a badge.
They're not supposed to be. Aren't they supposed to be ghosts, basically? They don't
yes.
You might as well have James Bond going around with a t-shirt saying, I'm a spy.
I mean, they literally have membership cards and special badges.
Yes.
And a base. Here's Section 31's base, and here are all our Section 31 ships.
Piece, everyone.
It's just,
crazy.
It's so, yeah. But it's bad. But hey, Starfleet Academy, woohoo! I mean, of course, in the headline they talk about its diverse cast.
Right.
The thing is, what it should be full of aliens and stuff, but it's too expensive to do that on a daily basis. So you'll get
just put a couple of black people.
You know, they've forgotten. Hollywood has forgotten that they used to do diversity. It's like when the Peter Pan, you know, you have the Peter Pan and Wendy's coming out, right? It's like, did none of them look at actual Hook when you had Robin Williams?
You get 10% off. You get 10% off your meals in the cafeteria if you remember Section
Hi,
31.
I'm Section 31. Here to stay and play.
I am Section 31. I get 10% discount off my cafeteria meal.
When they introduced Section 31, you know, you had the great Bill Sadler playing Sloan. He would literally just, Bashir would wake up and Sloan was sitting in the dark in his cab, you know, and then he would walk out of the room and Bashir would follow him and he was gone.
Right.
You know, and that's all you really knew. And they should have kept
That's all
it that
you
way.
had to know. Yes, that's all you had to
That's
know.
all you had to know.
That's how it worked. It worked that way. It was like the Shadow.
Yeah.
Not
But
like,
it's meant
hey.
to be a clandestine organization. Not one with fucking ID badges, their own brand of fucking clothesline.
That's supposed to have a commercial. Red Squad uses American Express.
Yeah, I mean,
home without it. I'm not Red Squad, Section 31.
Well, there's Red Squad is the there's
You
Red
know, in
Squad
Deep
too.
Space Nine, when again you had that admiral when he was using part of the Nog's team.
Yep, Red Squad. Yeah,
Red Squad.
Yeah, and it's frustrating to watch all of this. I mean, I can't wait because you know, it's funny because I've been hating on Star Trek for years. I call it the Great Star Trek Hostage Crisis. I like Star Trek Picard Season 3 because I'll recognize if I like something, and it's not perfect, but if I like it, I'll say it. People are going to be completely confused by my response to this Starfleet Academy announcement because I think it was wrong-headed when Harv Bennett wanted to do it in the 80s. It's wrong-headed now.
Okay.
And I think it fundamentally destroys what the show is called. Star Trek. Let's go on a trek somewhere. Not at like not after.
They're going to go a trek from the cafeteria into the dormitory.
It's time for a weekend furlough. We're going to go to Risa and get our drink on. I mean, come on. It's not going to be like.
I wonder if they'll put one of those pots by their.
Here I'm putting up the Jamaharon. Do you seek Jamaharon?
That was hilarious when you had Worf. You had Worf there, but it was funny for half that episode how he was pulling more towards the cultists who were like, you know, you got to help us, Worf, you know, to crack down. And then by the end of it, he's like, nope, you know, they were all bad. He realized it. I like that. I wonder. I never understood why they got rid of Jazz Dax. I forget
Terry Farrell.
Yeah,
she wanted out.
After all those years,
I thought she wanted to renegotiate a contract.
Yeah,
and they were just like too much.
Yeah, it was only one more season. Yeah,
Jadzia.
I know, but I missed her. I missed Jadzia.
No, she was great. Although I have to say, they really made when they replaced her with Ezri Dax, they had some really interesting storylines out of that. You know,
that whole thing in its. I mean, they did a great TNG episode with the Trills. They looked different, but the premise was very clever, and it was a good way to play with sexuality.
Oh,
in a mature way.
It was great. That episode's called The Host.
Yes,
and there was a character named Odan who was the first joined, and Beverly was in love with him, and he gets killed, and they take the symbiote out of him and put the symbiote into another person that's a woman.
But they
put into Riker first.
Yeah, they put it into Riker first.
In TNG, they were much different.
Just to try and keep it alive, and then obviously Riker is exhibiting the same feelings as the symbiote. So did Riker bang Beverly?
Yeah. But I mean, but that was that's a great, you know, that's what science fiction allegory does so well.
Yes.
You don't come at things head on. There was another episode of TNG called the Outcast.
Yeah.
Where they go to a planet where there is a genderless species. And
sorry, just to cut you off there, it's funny because now people go, well, look, they had trans people in, and I'm just like, this is not an allegory for trans. This is an allegory for homosexuality.
Yeah, and it was really interesting. So in this species, this character named Soren, and this was before Soren from Generations, but Soren is feeling that they're attracted to a man,
a specific gender,
a specific gender, and that's against the code of this culture, and the people that feel this way, they send them to re-education camps to purge them of these feelings. And it's horrifying. And so Riker falls in love with Soren. They're in the midst of this relationship. She gets sent to this re-education camp and is purged. And it's really, and nowadays people complain because the actor that played Soren is a woman.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, if Star Trek was really progressive, they would have put a male actor in the role. It's like, come on.
They missed the point. They missed the point.
The point was that she was female orientated towards Riker because Riker's straight. So Riker is attracted because he sees the feminine aspects of her, but the species is gender neutral. And so for them to actually lean towards a gender in itself, it doesn't matter whether the gender's male or female, is you go to correction therapy.
Yeah.
So
and
it makes perfect sense the way they did it. It wouldn't make sense if the member, the outcast, was played by a man. That wouldn't, because Riker would not be attracted to the man.
Right. But it was, I mean, they, but if it's gender, I understand some people's criticisms of the episode, but you're right. But the thing about it was, at the time, this was groundbreaking for television, and this was something that, again, allegorically, which the reason science fiction, the thing about both like the Twilight Zone and Star Trek in the 1960s, they were able to deal with things that you couldn't put on TV.
Right.
Because it was the future, it was science fiction. Like if you wanted to talk about race relations or you wanted to talk about the Vietnam War, you couldn't directly attack those issues head on and say a show about a family in middle America, but you put these issues on a spaceship in the far reaches of space, or put them in the Twilight Zone, then suddenly net standards and practices are like, oh, it's a fantasy allegory. We get it. And so they were able to sneak things by, like in Star Trek. And that was one of the great things about, and to a certain extent with the Outer Limits as well. And now what's happened is, we're just gonna deal with these issues head on. We're gonna now take our 2023 politics and inject it into our allegorical fantasy show, and it doesn't work anymore. No. Because then what you're doing is you're preaching, and you're not doing what Star Trek.
Not entertaining.
No, it's not entertaining. It's not allegorical, and that's what great science fiction does. It is allegorical, and then what happens is it dates. When you're not telling these universal stories, and your shows are incredibly dated immediately.
Well, because you're pulling script lines from the headlines. You're pulling story ideas from the headlines, and people are going to understand that. But Riker's always the one to cause problems. Do you remember when he went to the planet that was ruled by all women?
Yeah,
Angel
One. That was not one of Star Trek's best moments.
I know, but I loved him because he was such a charity.
No, but I get what the episode was trying to do. I get it. Just like the what's it called from season 1? A Matter of Honor or whatever it is.
Oh, Code of Honor.
Code of Honor. I get what they were trying to do.
Me too.
They were trying to say, look, what happens when we come across a planet that has a very specific culture, and because we are dealing with 1980s stuff, because that's 1987.
Yeah.
They thought, what would be a good way to represent this? So they said, well, let's use like an African culture.
Right. Yeah, of course.
And so we'll kind of use that as the bridge for people to understand where we're coming from in terms of this is a planet that has a very specific culture. But then of course it kind of got jumped on for racism.
Well, what that episode has you find out at the end it's a matriarchal culture, and you think it's a patriarchal culture, and it's pretty interesting. I mean, it gets a bad rap, but there was a lot more going on in that episode than people actually give it credit for.
Yeah, they were playing with ideas, and this is, and like we said, we've been discussing allegory, and it's fun to play with allegorical ideas, and I think the intent was absolutely pure.
Yeah.
With what they were trying to achieve. Same with Angel 3 or Angel 1. Yeah. Same with that. It was trying to say, what if we flip reverse?
Right.
Why don't we just flip reverse? And Sliders did an episode that did exactly that as well. they essentially had their Angel One episode where they slid to another world that was dominated by female rule. Now then, might have been a little bit sexier, and I might have had a bit more of a boner.
Givers of pain and delight.
Oh God, I remember them.
But you could see what they were trying to do, and Riker wasn't there to make the women go weak at the knees.
No,
Riker was there to try and say to the matriarchal society, no, we have an egalitarian society here. So that's what it was. It wasn't a man's coming in and dominate. No, it was a man.
Riker.
A male perspective. I know. Riker's got a Riker, okay? You know, the guy's got a body count. You know, that's so just he's going to negotiate is by fucking the leader of the planet, and
of course.
And a dick from Riker, and of course you're going to be cured. You know,
that's why Q wanted him to be part of the Q. It's like, did you see Riker just do that? You know.
Yeah.
No, but I really
fool. So you should number one.
One of my favorite episodes, again, I know the episodes, can't remember the name, is the one where you had Picard, he was on a planet, and you had that alien, and you couldn't understand him. He's like,
Darmok, yeah.
Darmok on an island, and they were...
That's a great episode. Learning how to communicate with somebody who you don't understand.
But see, that's Star Trek. Think about that. When you're trying to explain that to someone, you spend an entire episode where two people are trying to learn how to survive by communicating with each other. I mean, who would do that today?
But that's another beautiful way to say this is a race that deals in metaphor.
Right.
This is their level of communication. But we don't understand their metaphors.
Right.
Because they're using their own experiences, their own stories. So we're not going to understand what they're trying to say. However, when you have, and they are willing to almost go to war to make peace, to make this bond between the Federation and the well, it's not Dharma, but the species of the race. And so, you know, it's just a beautiful way that when. You know, a lot of these metaphors, they're not particularly tough to kind of get.
Right, but Kemba and his arms open.
Yeah. The point is, when you say arms open, then we just use our own body language. So we don't need to have metaphor. We can understand the principle of the body language. So his arms open, temper, his arms wide. All right, so so you know, you get Picard verbalizing what he'd be eternally thinking. Arms wide. Is he gathering? Is he welcoming? So he's kind of going through all the ideas which we as the audience should automatically be going through. It's a very clever way to pretend to be very complex, but at the same time allow your audience to play along.
Totally.
But it's so clean. Think about it. There's not a lot of action, and I mean, they fight that invisible creature when Picard, but most of it is protecting Picard and Picard trying to communicate with Darmok. And then you have Deanna explaining the power of communication and how would you know that this would mean water when she's talking to Picard before, or was it Picard or Riker before they go down on the planet? Like, how would you understand what this meant? If you just dropped on this planet and I said this, what does that mean to you? Does that mean water to you? Does that mean that? That was powerful storytelling at its best. I think that's what's missing.
One of the greatest episodes of TNG.
I totally agree, and I think that is missing from Star Trek. What's been missing from Star Trek are big ideas. And instead we get kids that crash on planets, and suddenly they get dilithium in their DNA, and they scream loud enough, and they destroy all the dilithium in the universe, causing a.
Where's that from?
Star Trek Discovery.
I haven't watched it. Okay,
it's the dumbest. I can't watch Star Trek Discovery.
How is that possible? Who wrote that?
It's the worst science fiction television series ever made.
It is. It is. Sorry, Rob, for doing
Wait, how did he?
What happens when a retarded person is given a Star Trek pencil to write? Gotcha. And they're like, "Oh my god! Like, what if the dilithium bonded with them on a DNA level and stuff?" Wow. And then when they screamed, every ship that was using dilithium and stuff, because that's the fuel and things, just blew up in the whole universe.
And the funny thing is if I was in the writer's room and somebody pitched that, I'm like, you realize that not every spacefaring race uses dilithium. As a matter of fact,
Romulans don't. They use a quantum singularity.
Yeah, and in First Contact, Zefram Cochrane went to warp without using dilithium.
Yeah.
I mean, but they don't know that. So when you watch this, and they based an entire season around this thing, and when you're watching this, as a Star Trek fan, I'm like, you realize there's other ways to travel, and of course nobody knows this, and it's because the people that made the show don't know that either. And
they haven't got a clue.
Not a clue. And when
How
you're
did
watching,
they get hired?
well, here's the thing about TV. Television is a very insular industry, and everybody hires people they know because writers' rooms are cantankerous and they're difficult places. And so once you get into that system, they've decided that Star Trek is like any other show. You come from some relationship drama, and and I know this person, and now there's hiring constraints, and people have to hire certain other kinds of people, and they might not know anything about science fiction. That's why a lot of the dialogue, especially in Star Trek Discovery, sounds like you could be in any TV show ever. The way characters talk to each other, you might as well be in This Is Us,
Riverdale,
or whatever show. Riverdale. It's the same. It's all the same shit, and there's no understanding of. They haven't read science fiction as a literary genre, and they haven't read science fiction.
You think there would be certain minimums required?
Well, I would make that so. I would be like, I'd give people.
I think
test.
there should be certain minimum IQs required.
Right.
Yeah.
But, I mean, come on. It's like you want to be on a Star Trek show. You have to understand Star Trek. Here's a test.
Well, I think you have to understand writing.
Right, but that's a
don't
base.
understand writing.
That's a base. Yeah, that's a base. But it's like the people who are hired. Who was it that? I think it was 2 years ago. I read an article in the Hollywood Reporter, and they were talking about the writers' room for. Do you remember the comic book that Kathleen Kennedy's group had put out? The one with Geode, a rock that was a character?
That was the High Republic.
High Republic. We are High Republic.
But they were talking. They were proud of the. Yes, exactly. They were proud of the fact that most of the individuals in the writers' room had no knowledge of Star Wars. I'm like, how the fuck can you write for a series where you don't know the lore? And
when they had their board with their ideas, one of the ideas was dinosaurs, because if there's one thing Star Wars is synonymous with, it's dinosaurs.
Crazy. See, even Gary says it. He says you had to pass a test to work in my comic shop. I mean, you have to have basic knowledge of what you're going to be doing. I've just never heard of any other industry.
We know the answer, George. The answer is Kurtzman said, it's not about Star Trek. It's about using a platform for our messages. So they don't care that they don't know anything about it. They think saying the word dilithium, trilithium, something like warp, something like that makes, oh, look, there's a dilithium warp thing. Okay, so anyway, Gary's gay. That's the sort of level that we've got to with these writers. It's vacuous. It's absolutely soulless. It's vacuous. It's General Hospital in space. There's nothing to this. It's lost any sort of resemblance in science fiction. It's lost any allegory. It's now just become trash TV that can't even. I say trash TV. It can't even get on TV.
Wow. So do you think there's a shot of after Picard season 3 if it does well enough to continue with Terry Matalas? Or something with him running Star Trek in any way?
Here's the thing. The only way anything like that occurs is if the numbers hold up. Like if people watch it and they see that it was there was a bump in Star Trek Picard season 3's numbers compared to seasons 1 and 2 or compared to other shows. It's all about real time. I mean, they can see real-time analytics and how many people watch it in the overnights and how many people watch it over the course of a week. It's all just about numbers. And does anybody subscribe based on Picard season 3?
But they don't also look at positive reception.
Yeah, they look at all. They do. They look at all of that. But it really comes down to positive reception. If it doesn't translate to subscribers, I mean, one of I think the big problem in Hollywood now is they thought that the thing about subscription services that brought that like with Warner Brothers having HBO Max, that Disney has Disney Plus, Universal has Peacock. The thing about streaming services, what the streaming services allowed the studios to have, which they never had before, was guaranteed cash flow.
Right.
So you could look at and be like, okay, we have this many 100 million subscribers, so we know that every month we're going to have $1.5 billion coming through here, which we never had before. What they didn't realize is that how expensive it is to keep people coming back to your platform, because
Gotta produce.
People subscribe and then they watch what they want to watch and then they leave. You know, some things like Disney Plus, they'll stick around if they've got kids. If you're a family, you know, Disney Plus is a babysitter. You've got everything that Disney made, Star Wars, Marvel, whatever. But other streaming, and Netflix is so chock-a-block full of things from all over the world, whether it's, you know, I love Netflix documentaries, but they have Korean shows, they've got Indian shows, they've got stuff from great French mystery thrillers or whatever, and so Netflix has a huge backlog.
Blue
of
is
stuff.
the warmest color.
Oh, I love that movie. By the way, that's an adaptation.
So do I, Rob.
That's an adaptation of a comic book.
Yeah, but you like it for different reasons, Ed.
No, but it's also a heart. That movie's heartbreaking. You get to the end of that movie.
It might be, Rob, but I just thought I was watching a porno and fucking loved it because it had Leia Sedona.
Did you ever watch, what was the one, Nymphomaniac, that came out 3 years ago?
Yeah, that's Lars von Trier.
Well, yeah, I remember. I saw like 30 minutes and I was like, yeah, you sure this doesn't belong? You know,
there's something though about Picard season 3 is it's a pretty good season. I do think there are issues.
Yeah, there are.
For the most part, it's a pretty good season. It's very watchable.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not sort of going, oh, got to watch Picard. I'm actually looking forward to watching every episode that comes along.
well,
And
let me
it's
tell you about last
that,
night's
and I don't like
episode
that.
then.
But what do you do when that comes out after you've just created apathy in your audience?
Well, that's another problem.
How does it ever stand a chance?
But it's the same thing that happened with Andor. I think Andor, and I'm going to be in the minority. I think it was good. If it was solid, especially for modern
I loved
Star
it.
Wars. Right, except
Look
nobody
what's happening at
showed up for it
Disney now,
because
though, George. There's a culling going on.
Right.
Yeah, it's. I mean,
Heads are rolling.
the thing about it is that the Mandalorian is fine, but you look at it now. There's so much in it. What is it about? Like,
Babysitting.
the what is the overarching story? The thing about Star Wars is it always had a very simple fairy tale like structure, you know, and now they're. I mean, I don't know. Look, I love seeing Mandalorians as much as the next person, but what do you do?
I don't want to see another fucking Mandalorian as long as I fucking live now.
Because they're not in. They're
to the back teeth of Mandalorian.
They're not interesting.
No,
they're
not.
They,
babysitters.
They
Babysitters.
I mean, it's just.
But Favreau has let me down. I will say that I don't know if it's really him just calling it in, phoning it in, or what. But this season, it started. I thought I liked the first 2 episodes, but after that, it just like.
Well, if you think about like the second season with the episode that Bill Burr, the comedian, was in. When they go take out that Imperial base and he explained that was a great episode of Star Wars television, you know, and then you wonder where'd that go? I mean, the Mandalorians are portrayed with the depth of a Dudley Do-Right cartoon.
Pretty much.
You know, it's not.
This is the way. You say that again, I'm going to shove this thing right up your ass, mate.
I mean, everything is this is the way.
I took a crap.
This is the way. I took a crap. This is the way. I ate.
I'll take Baby Yoda and shove it up your fucking ass.
No, but last night, the problem is like I said, last night, they're obsessive. This is the way. They turn it on its head. I think for writing, that's not good. It's like,
okay, I'm not watching it. I'm done. I
know you're not, but that's the point we were talking about. Is how do you get people back?
Apathy. Don't care.
How do you
care.
get
Didn't
people
care
back?
about Andor. Didn't watch first episode. Fell asleep. Don't care now. When I saw Kenobi snuffed out the last ember
but how
of
do they
any
get
interest
back?
in Star Wars. They fucked that up so badly.
But how do they get you back in the future? If they go, we fired everybody.
By sucking my goddamn dick. Oh. Why did I tell you what? I'll tell you how they get me back. They get me back by actually making something watchable. Picard season 3 is highly watchable. Is it perfect? No. Does it have issues? Yes. But do I think the heart's in the right place? Do I think they're trying to make the right decisions? Yes, I do. Do I think they're hampered by this shit universe that has been created? Yes, I do. Do I ever want to hear a swear word in a Star Trek thing again? Never in my fucking life do I want to hear people swearing in Star Trek.
I never heard that before this season, actually, the fuck you.
I mean, the thing is, whenever they did, like, look, they've said damn, you know, and hell.
Didn't someone say fuck?
Not in Star Trek, not until Kurtzman Trek.
Not until Kurtzman.
There was never. I mean, and the funny thing about it,
shit.
They even
but that's because he wasn't able to control his emotions.
Right.
And Kirk, you know, in Star Trek 4, they make a joke of it. Your use of colorful metaphors.
Colorful metaphors.
You know, and you know, double S on you. You know, and the whole thing that, again, as 4-quadrant entertainment, there's really no reason, and I'm no prude, but there's no reason to have when you suddenly it's obtrusive. When someone says "fuck" in Star Trek, it's I'm like, wait, what?
It breaks me. There's a shredding of the suspension of disbelief. At least the way I've watched it. It's like, what did I just see? Oh.
Yep, and it's really interesting. I mean,
like on a TV show.
It's weird. I mean,
it's like if you're watching Lord of the Rings, and all of a sudden you see Aragorn saying "fuck."
Let's kill those fucking orcs.
Yeah.
What?
Anyway.
Yeah, I'm waiting for that in Rings of Power season 2.
Well, and that's the funny thing is that the thing about Star Trek is they speak kind of a proper. It doesn't have a lot of colloquialisms in the way they talk by design, because it's part of the believability of the future they're portraying. If somebody started to use Cockney rhyming slang or something, you know, people would be like, "Wait, what?" You know, bruv, whatever you're going to say. You know, wouldn't. People are going to be like, you know,
I'm just going to go up the apples and pears, mate. You know, I say,
but
one.
But
it's like watching Snatch. You know, they have their language, a certain way that they speak. I was about to say it, and then I remembered. Oh, I'm on Az's channel.
But what's so great is that. But in a movie like Snatch, that's part of the fun, is the culture that you're dropped into.
Do you remember what they were called?
I don't.
Who the character Brad Pitt was playing? When they're the group that they were called something?
Yes, and
But when you're playing language straight, like they did in Star Trek,
it's beautiful.
Then language can become integral to various parts of the story, because then you can have communication aspects. Then you can have Data using a contraction. Well, Data doesn't use verbal contractions, ergo that's law. You know, you can play with language. Nowadays, I don't know if people know what a verbal contraction is.
Of course.
But you can do things like Darmak. Then you can do things like coming across other species and other species speaking in a very like brash way and say, well, this is the way that they communicate. This is the way that we're formal, but we also have this polite aspect. They don't have this polite aspect. If you respond to this species in a polite manner, they actually see it as an insult to them. You know, you have to be forthright and all this. You can play with aspects of language like that.
It becomes an art form.
But when you're some fat fucking ginger bint standing next to just a tokenized gay character going, "Science is fucking cool," and then going, "Yeah, science is fucking cool."
Oh, come on. We've seen it. Did you see Willow, Robert? Or catch any of the episode, the Disney Plus?
Yes, dude.
Right. Come on. Episode 2? I haven't seen this before in a film or in a television series. They pulled 4 different scenes over 2 episodes directly from old movies. Remember the one, the horse, they all take the jump? I'm like, that's from Young Guns too. Like, what are y'all doing? Even the lines were the same.
Yeah, I know.
This week in Gotham Knights, and I shit you not,
dude. How can you watch that?
I can't. I am so done after 3 episodes, and I was done after first.
Wait. Quick question: which is better, MILF Manor or Gotham Knights?
Oh, I'd watch every episode of MILF Manor again before I ever watch. They actually ripped a scene from The Dark Knight.
Wow.
A bunch of criminals burst into the party and go, "Ladies and gentlemen, we're your entertainment for the evening. And I was just like, I'm going to fucking shoot myself. I'm going to shoot myself, reload, and then do it again. I'm going to be that guy that accidentally shot himself with a shotgun in the chest while hanging, who's a friend of the Clintons. I'm going to be a friend of the Clintons after this.
Wow.
I could not believe it. I was just like, oh.
So is it getting a
and then they
season
did,
2?
and then they got out a buzzer, like a little remote control thing with a red button on it, and go, we're gonna play a game, and it's, what does this red button do? And I'm just like, I'm gonna find where every fucking one of these people live. In Minecraft.
In Minecraft.
In Minecraft. YouTube. In Minecraft.
Gentlemen, I have to go.
Okay.
I have to. I'm sorry we haven't talked enough about toys,
No,
but I love the Star Trek talk.
Yeah,
but
no,
as
that's
a Star
good.
Trek fan, and George, it's always great to speak with you.
Love Star Trek.
Yeah, and I can go. You know, it's funny the beef I have with Doomcock, which is I think so funny because I don't even know Doomcock's real name. I have a beef with a guy who lives in the center of the earth that has a talking dragon in a cage. And I don't think people quite understand that. That's what's so funny. And I would have thought that my ire. I guess
all I can say is just take it with a pinch of salt.
Of course,
just take it with a pinch of salt,
dude. It's fantastic, and it's
Kathleen Kennedy's. She's out any day now.
I don't even. Disney's in free fall, man. It's I don't know what their stock price.
Don't worry. She's been out every day for the last fucking 3 years, man. Okay.
Well, I'm curious to know one thing from Robert before you leave, Robert, because we all love Star Trek. But moving forward from that, how do you think, which is more impactful, Victoria Alonso being fired or Ike?
I think that Victoria Alonso is, only because she was there, the day-to-day operation of making those Marvel shows. I mean, she really did keep the trains running for a long time. And
isn't that why they got rid of her? Because of her in the Phase 4?
You know what? I've heard there's been so many different reports about why they got rid of her that I've been reading the trades. I'll be very curious. It's going to be really interesting to see what happens with this lawsuit. If Disney will do like what they did with Scarlett Johansson and just settle it.
Pay her off. But what about? So I thought Ike was more influential since he was.
Well, I mean, he was. You know, he was. I think that I don't think he did that much anymore. Okay. More as a figurehead. But Victoria Alonso was the day-to-day operations of post-production and getting these things finished. And with the there's pipeline issues with VFX because there just aren't enough VFX artists in the world to go around to meet the demand of all these things that need VFX artists.
Okay.
And she was plus they're going to have to find like 2 or 3 people to fill her role. And she'd been working with Kevin Feige since before the MCU started.
2008, yeah.
Yeah, and I think it was, I mean, regardless, she was a well-respected figure in the community, whether people feared her or not. But
so she'll be missed more than Ike, is what you're saying, as an integral part of the company.
I think so. So.
Okay.
You know, it's going to be really interesting to see where it all goes. All I know is I read the scripts for Secret Invasion, and I really liked it.
Really?
Yeah, it was definitely a return to form. It's very much more like Winter Soldier.
Oh.
It's a really interesting. I've said this before. When I say it's a follow-up to Captain Marvel, what I mean by that is it's about the Skrulls, and they were introduced in Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
And weren't the Skrulls just made into a joke?
Not in this. They pick up where the Skrulls today from 96.
Skrulls in the comics or Skrulls in the show?
The Secret Invasion is all about the Skrulls.
Right. Yeah.
And you find out very interesting things in the last 25 years. The intervening, I think the MCU, we're now 30 years away from. So Captain Marvel took place in 96, and I think the Marvel Cinematic Universe is circa 2025 now.
Mm-hmm.
And it's catching up with what is the disposition of the Skrulls now, and how do we deal with them, and there's perhaps a Skrull leader who has risen who is not happy about what's happened with the Skrulls and humanity.
Just before you go, Robert, I know you're pressed. Can I just get your opinion on one thing?
Yes.
what is your opinion on this?
That's all good, my friend.
I'm thinking
is that is an energy drink, Strong Zero? Is that what that's called?
I'm looking at the booth.
Yeah. This is George energy drink.
It's an energy drink.
Energy drink. Look at the girl.
See, Strong Zero. She's drinking Strong Zero.
Yeah.
I think it's my favorite brand. If I was still drinking energy drinks.
Well, I'm sure if she brought you one, you drink it.
Did you see? Look at that. It says, "Good work, everyone. Let me drink today." That's the name of that video.
That's funny because that's exactly what I was going to say to her. Exactly what I was going to say. Robert, thank you.
Hey, it was great to be here, gents and everyone. Hey, I can't wait to do a stream about Starfleet Academy. I'm sharpening my X-Acto knives.
Hell yeah.
All right, gentlemen, I will talk with you later.
Thank you. Take care.
Mm-hmm.
We have to do a Star Trek 2 or 3 hours.
We have to do a Star Trek. What the fuck does that mean, George?
That means we have to.
Do a Star Trek.
Yes,
we just did.
I know, again, because that was fun. We always have fun. But I love talking about Star Trek. I love
when Robert's on.
I just don't remember.
Inevitably veers towards Star Trek anyway.
Right. I did like the energy drink. You know, I've really only had one energy drink in my life. I drink a lot of sodas, but I've only had one Red Bull. I never
what
did.
What energy drink?
Red Bull. Once I had a Red Bull.
No. What energy? Why are you bringing? What are you talking about? Energy drinks for?
The girl that you were showing.
What about her?
Girl? I was like, that looked like an interesting energy drink.
I don't give a fuck about the energy drink. I just thought about fucking Barry Mc. Anyway.
That's what I said. I said I was looking at the tits and you were talking about the energy drink. I'm like, fuck the energy drink. Look at the. So we're on the same page. That's good to know.
George, we are not on the same page because you clearly do not get subtlety.
I'm not subtle. I'm a 2x4.
Let's go through some supers. I could get her if I wanted.
But what if she brought you an energy drink? Would you drink it? There you go. That's the true test.
Let's just say we'll pour it somewhere and we'll have some fun. Ezra Miller's cellmate with a $2 is.
Did you say Ezra Miller's cellmate?
Ezra Miller's cellmate, yeah. He likes to super chat. He likes to super chat when he's got a minute. It's very difficult because Ezra Miller's trying to, do stuff. Have y'all seen Wheeljack's design in ROTB trash? Yes. Trash. I'm not interested in that nonsense. That's not Transformers. Jake Skywalker, the $2 as I just ordered the 1 in 10 Battle of New York Iron Man. Oh, nice. Maxim M with a £5 says, "Oh yeah, RMB in the house to toys, mostly Star Trek, but yeah. Get in there." Die Dinks with a £10 says, "The Fantastic 3, what a treat." And John Keeley with a £10 says, "Yes, RMB is back in the HAWT toy house." Welcome back, Robert. Always good to have Robert here.
Oh, yeah.
Pasty Copper Top with a $2 says, "Happy to see the gang back together. Toy talk." Manowar 665 Neighbor of the Beast with a $6.65 super chat says, if something has the brand Hidden Outhouse stamped on it, it's gonna reek. Oh, yeah. Thanks for shit. Die Dinks again with a £10 says, "Thanks to Robert, I've fallen back in love with Star Trek, the original series, TNG, Voyager, the films, Blu-rays and 4Ks heading my way. I realize how much I missed it. Cheers to you all for rekindling my love." Well, it's the quality of the product which speaks. Dragonborn 35, Darren gifting 5 memberships to the stream. Thank you, Dragon Reborn. And Hitcher 42 with the £2 says, "Will XO6 make a Captain Shaw figure?" Don't know, because I don't think they're making Picard figures.
You don't think? I think EXO is going to do Picard. He already announced.
Think?
Yeah. He had announced it that he would do him after he goes.
Are you gonna get? No,
what I want is the Worf. Season 3.
I could get a Worf.
I like that black outfit and the.
I would get a Worf, and I would get a Captain Shaw.
You know, I would get a Captain Shaw. Absolutely.
I would definitely get a Captain Liam Shaw.
Hell yeah, I would do that.
And probably
not fucking Raffi.
I would get an Ensign LaForge. She's a little cutie pie. She's a little cutie pie.
I don't want a Data to look like that. I like Data looking the way he looked in TNG.
I don't want Brent Spiner.
Yeah, I don't. It just
73-year-old Brent Spiner, whatever. I'm okay with that.
That is something I want to ask Robert next time. How come they didn't, when they brought him back, they didn't de-age him so he looked the same?
Well, they said they mentioned it in the show. They said they explain it in the show. They explained it. They said that he wanted to create a Data that was of yeah.
I didn't like that. I thought that was. I want Data.
No, it's a way to not fucking
spend the money.
Spend money to de-age him that they didn't even have.
Spend the money.
We're not even gonna put you in the makeup. We're just gonna put your contact lenses in, and then maybe a bit of glitter on your face to look at shimmery.
I will say though, still Brent Spiner has it. The way he can perform. By the way,
because they stole the body of Picard, the actual physical body of Picard. Does Picard get put back in his human body somehow? That's interesting.
Only to just
because they've made it very clear that he's a fucking in a cybernetic body.
Well, they've said it 3 times now so far. I think, yeah. Because his son has said it. Well, I'm not like you anymore because you're a synth or whatever.
And the villain woman said it as well. The villain woman said it as well.
But
it's something like in the cybernetic flesh or whatever.
But it's still crazy that he chose not to be immortal. Like, no, I just want to fucking die like everybody else. Yeah, give me a sense about it.
That's because the whole show is fucking dumb. Picard's actually dead. He died in season 1. We have a positronic body with a positronic reconstruction of Picard's thoughts and memories.
So it's
not Picard. Picard is dead.
Poor Picard.
He died in season 1.
And then Q in season 2 of space cancer.
Well, I only watched the first episode and some clips. He died of space AIDS.
I saw a video.
He's going around fucking planets. He got a space AIDS.
That's what happens when you fuck a supernova.
Unprotected planet fucking. Dragon Reborn 35 down with a £20 says, so when is the OnlyFans with As, George and RMB? # nice racks. On a serious note, you guys are awesome and loving the Hot Toy stream. Also got my fans toy Soundwave. I think you should have got the Robot Paradise one. I'm just saying. And Jetfire, and boy is he big. We showed it off earlier. You big boy.
Big boy.
And the fans toys Jetfire, big boy. Very big. But in the cartoon, Skyfire, Jetfire, whichever you prefer, Skyfire is huge. He's absolutely huge. Thanks, guys. No, thank you. Eddie from Outer Space for the €2. Star Trek Picard Season 3 is great. DVD is wrong here. I'm not even going to get embroiled in that. Let's just... Yeah. The dyslexic geek spelled incorrectly. I like that. With a £5 says, hi, chaps. Love the show. You inspired me to start my Lego channel 3 months ago.
Great.
550 subs now. Watch time done, but long way to go. Hard work, but loving it. Hey, you're doing well. 3 months, 550 subs, all on your own in 3 months. Dude, that's good.
Very good.
That's good. It took 5 months for me to get 1,000 subscribers, and that was back in 2012.
Wow.
To get my first out, to get to 1,000 subscribers took 5 months.
Wow.
To the day, my channel opened up on the 11th of April. My first video released on the 13th of April, and I hit 1,000 subscribers on the September the 11th.
Wow. How did it feel when you put that first video up and you got your first view? Come on.
A lot of people were like, why is this guy so happy on September the 11th?
Yeah.
Oh boy. No, I mean at the time you think 1,000. That's 1,000. That's like 1,000,000.
Yeah.
But 1,000.
Yeah.
Ken Burrows with a 2 Canadian 20 says even Enterprise had Section 31 as clandestine. Yes.
Everybody heard.
Yes, but now they got their own uniforms and shit.
They're doing fucking commercials.
Yeah. I'm from Section 31.
Join us to save the universe.
Man of War 665, Neighbor of the Beast with 2 $6.65 super chats. Number 1. So, Rob, I see these two have retrieved you from the land of the memberberry eaters in a vain attempt to stem the rising tide of 1/12 supremacy. 2 of 2. How quaint. Our conquest of the shelf space and display case will be utter and absolute. 1 in 12 Victorium Achernus, fucking some Latin shit. Butter Biscuit 92 with a $10 in total. They were more interesting in KOTOR Jedi. Yeah. They had been to war and had an interesting story. Now they just sound like shells of what came before.
You know, that would be a great
I thought this was a toy stream. Yeah, it's a toy geek stream. Yeah, I showed some toys.
I showed a toy.
But I love the conversation, guys. It's a nice shot in the arm to get through the day. John Keeley with a 2 pounds says Captain Jellicoe. Oh, I'd love a Captain Jellicoe.
KOTOR would be a great series.
Not in the hands of
no, Disney. Not with these fuckers. No, but I'm talking about if you had responsible people who understood the properties.
Yeah, now we're just talking fantasy now, George.
Yeah.
George the Giant Slayer gifted 10 memberships to the street. He doesn't listen to me. He doesn't listen to me. He doesn't listen to me.
No.
And Pasty Copper Top with a $2 says, as and George, do you dabble?
Dabble in what?
In 3D printing statues. I don't know. I know Quarter Black Garrett does.
I've looked at a couple. I even bought one Spawn, like a file, but I've never done it. I haven't had the time.
Okay. But ladies and gentlemen, time at the bar, please. George, is there anything you'd like to plug before we go, sir?
I like to plug a lot of things.
Like, I'm going to plug the shit out of that fucking bed. I'm going to have fucking legs on.
Boobs. I'm a boob man. But legs good too. No, I've been working on this Hollywood history video, going from the beginning, and that's going to be coming out Sunday. So we're going to go through silent films all the way to final phase woke tartary. And it's basically up to Hollywood. You know, are they going to evolve or are they going to go extinct? Because they've been here before. That's what I've been working on. And then I cannot wait till we get back together next week. I think we need another stream, like 2.
Good. Fuck off. I am barely getting. I barely have a moment to myself right now.
Why do you need one?
Because after this stream, I'm going to be streaming some more Conan Exiles.
Well, I think I'm going to join you.
Well, you got the deets.
I keep having a problem with this. I told you. It's like my controller is not working properly with the Conan.
I don't play with a controller.
You told me you played with the controller with Sons of the Forest and with...
yeah, but it's not Conan.
Are you sure I don't require the controller?
Yeah, keyboard mouse, that's all you need.
Okay.
Keyboard mouse, baby.
Okay, I'll try that.
Keyboard mouse?
I'll try it. Keyboard mouse. That sounds like an S&M thing. Keyboard mouse.
What is wrong with you?
I've been hanging around you.
I'm gonna fill up my water. And I'm going to fire up a Conan stream. If George will... Maybe grab a little bit of bacon or something.
I do want to... You really need to see Picard, the last episode. Because I
will tomorrow when it releases in the UK.
Oh, it didn't release yet for you.
It hasn't released in the UK yet. We get it tomorrow.
Wow.
We get it on the Friday.
So one day after...
Yeah,
we do. Okay,
yeah. We get it on the Friday. And I will watch it probably tonight when I go to bed. If it drops at midnight, I'll probably watch it then. Then I'll go to sleep.
And then
I'll wake up.
In.
And no doubt there'll be some. I won't say that. Friday night tights tomorrow with somebody on. Not too sure. But yeah. So yeah, give me about half an hour, and I'll be doing some Conan Exiles. Yeah.
That's a long time.
I want something to eat. Is that fucking all right?
How much do you need to eat in a half an hour? I mean,
I'm just gonna put a little bit of bacon, maybe a couple of sausages, a little bit of bacon, a little bit of sausage.
That's good. You need an egg. An egg there, nice egg.
Well, I'm not gonna do the egg now because that would be. I ain't got fucking time. I'm just gonna put bacon and George.
Okay. Wait a minute. You're gonna have bacon. You're gonna have sausage, but you're not gonna have eggs. I think you should have an egg.
We will see you on the next Hot Toys. Until then, take care. Bye for now.